Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing fine. If you're new to this channel and you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. I normally post weekly, twice weekly, every Fridays and every Sundays, 4 p.m. European time on Feelingly. And I also post daily shorts. Every day there's a video that goes up on my short. So you can just go through my channel and binge watch all the videos that are there, both on my main channel and my shorts, and yeah, just get to know me and get conversant with my content. And for today, we're going to be doing our usual TV shows and movies, which is what I do normally. For my Sunday videos, I just get to share with you guys what I've been listening to, what I've been watching, so basically recommendations. And sometimes I also share fun facts, and I also do story time, and the list will keep growing as we go. So that's basically what I do on Sundays. And if you vibe with what I just said, you're in the right place. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you're new or you're not new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video or while you're at it. And yeah, let's get right into today's video. So for this week, I haven't had the time to really watch or listen to movies, songs. I haven't really watched so much. So I went on Reddit to get some stories, and for today the question would be, what is your worst secret? So because I don't have so much to share today, I'm just going to be sharing these stories with you guys before we move into our recommendations. So let's get right into today's story. The first on my list would be, I once took an essay from a friend and submitted it as my own. It was a major goddamn thesis, over 50 pages long, that he worked on for a whole lot of months. I got an A. This same person said, I filmed my girlfriend while having sex with me without her knowing. And I just feel I'm so tempted to talk, but before the thread even started, they're like, this is not a place to judge. So I would keep quiet, but I'm not so sure about the first one, or I would give him a pass for the first one. But the second one, I'm sorry, but you're a nasty person, and I hope you've changed. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. And I'm sorry I'm looking down. I'm just reading it from the laptop. This one is quite long, so get ready. Anyways, here goes the story. My father is in prison for owning large amounts of child pornography, some of which were children that were as young as 2 months old, some of which were missing children. His sentence isn't that long though, because he did not help create the videos. He also used to beat my brother up and was violent with my mom, but he never harmed me. I think I know why though. He did have a short temper, but apparently he had been a pedophile for a long time. So I think my brother viewed one of his tapes when we were quite young. Him about 7, me about 5, my God. He tried to recreate it with me, but I refused because it seemed too weird. I didn't know what was going on though. I don't remember the rest of the day after that. I think my father might have walked in, and that was why he was so strict to my brother and blamed my brother for the things I had done. Like, if I spilled something, he would yell at my brother for it. I don't remember if my brother remembers or if it even happened. To be honest, I have absolutely no desire to ask. No one will ever guess though, because at times he is the most jovial and generous person you will ever meet. There just seemed to be a secret turning point that my family never figured out, unfortunately. But thankfully, my mom left him as soon as he started hurting my brother. My God. I have never told anyone this secret except for my therapist. Thankfully, he's in therapy. No one even knows, even my best friends, what my past is. I am too scared that they will judge me because of what my father is. It's one of those things I'm working on in therapy, opening up more to people. I thought that this might be a good exercise for that, but even now I am so scared that someone will find out somehow, magically. It is what it is, an irrational fear. I've had my finger tensed over the save button for the past 3 minutes actually, trying to will myself to press the button, possibly more depending on when I post this. My God, I make sure that I don't read the stories to an end. I kind of get a glimpse so that I also get to, enjoy that hearing the story for the first time. But my, this is even crazier than when I ran through it. But it is what it is, and you don't need to feel bad, or whoever this person is, you don't need to feel bad or ashamed for something that wasn't done by you, and you're not in support of. You're not your father, and yeah, I'm happy you're in therapy, and I hope you come out of this. I wish you all the best. The next story would be, I once convinced my good online friends that I had testicular cancer. I don't know why people lie with cancer. I once convinced my good online friends that I had testicular cancer. So then I could convince them that I gave my WoW account away so I could transfer servers without them being mad at me. But then I ended up coming back to them, and all of them think I have one testicle. Serves you right. I don't know why anyone sees it as a good idea to lie with something as serious as cancer. Anyways, moving on. I wanted to see what blacking out was once, so one night I sat alone in my apartment and drank a fifth of whiskey, and when that was gone, I continued with a bottle of vodka. At about a third of the way into it, I passed out, obviously. The next morning, I woke up completely covered in my own vomit and shit. That may be the closest I have come to dying. Also, when I was about 7, I wanted to see what kissing was like. Since I was so afraid to ask any of the boys in my class, I used my little brother instead. A part of me still feels like I molested him, even though the 7-year-old me didn't realize it was wrong at the time. My. I don't think I have anything to say, but whiskey and vodka, my God, what were you thinking? I hope you didn't do it when you were 7, and if you had sense, why did you do that? Next one. Not really my secret, but I know that my stepbrother's dad isn't really his dad. Okay. My stepmom is a horrible person and a lying bitch. My stepbrother is 18 and has no idea, and neither does his dad. I only think about it once in a while, but it bothers me a lot. Family secrets. And then we have, every time I cross the streets, for a split second, I have to keep myself from hauling into traffic. One of my greatest fears and darkest desires is that I will one day do so. I fantasize about cutting off my legs in various ways. I just really want a prosthetic leg and don't want mine. I don't know who wrote the story, but if this is real and true, I feel you need to seek help. You really need to seek help, because prosthetic leg or a prosthetic leg can never be better than your actual leg. If it wasn't caused by an accident or you lost it due to a tragic event, please keep your darkest secrets or desires off permanently. Please don't do anything to hurt yourself. And I hope I'm not too late saying that. I don't know when the story was posted, but yeah, I just thought to share the story with you guys, and I want to share a did you know with you guys. Did you know that the Great Wall of China is not a single wall? I don't know, for the longest time I always felt like the Great Wall of China is like a single wall, but it isn't. It is a series of walls that were built together, and they were built by so many different centuries of the Chinese dynasty, and if you join all of them together, it will stretch out to about 13,000 miles. And that's did you know that? Did you guys know that? Is anyone of you aware of this? If you are, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, this is the first time I'm knowing this, because all this while in my head, when I hear the Great Wall of China, I always think, is this one particular wall that just stretches out for a very, very long distance, but just like a single wall. I always thought it was a single wall that was built at a very ridiculous distance, but coming to see that they are just series of walls that were built around each other, it's interesting, and yeah, we get to learn new things every day. Let's move into what I've been watching this week. For this week, I've been watching Supercell. You can find it on Netflix or any streaming platform, and it's been raining for I think the whole of last week, if I'm not mistaken. Last 2 weeks weekend and last week it's been trending. It's an interesting TV show. It has 6 episodes and it's a British or a UK show. It is really interesting, but I do have some reservations, or would I say some questions, because in as much as it's interesting, there was a lot of missing parts, a lot of stories untold that wasn't really giving us the complete picture. First and foremost, one thing I noticed is the people at the headquarters in charge of capturing those with powers and keeping them in a cell or caging them or kidnapping them, whatever the case may be. There wasn't really any backstory as to how it started or what they are doing there. And they capture people with powers, and they get to show us the people with powers, but we don't even get to see their powers. We don't even know how they were able to get to where they were. Okay, we're able to get 2 people's story, that's Jasmine and one other person, how they were able to get there, and it's like they just disappeared or vanished one day. So let me say, okay, yes, for the rest of them, either kidnapped or something happened, they were able to be there, or they got themselves there, but they are not showing us any power, and they are not telling us what they are using them there to do. They just keep saying, oh, we want to try to understand what the power is and the rest. But I feel like we deserve some a little insight into what the life like is there for them, because everything is just we hear, we don't really see. And then how they were able to come about the powers, because from the explanation it said that Supercell is a mutation of sickle cell. Yes, I agree. So are you trying to say, or are they trying to say, every sickle cell patient on planet Earth, their own planet Earth, has the powers? If it's just the humans with sickle cell, I feel like there should be a whole lot of numbers. And if that's the case, how are they really able to even tell who has the power? Because are you telling me that they are going about conducting tests on every sickle cell parent? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like we deserved some backstory to that extent, because if you think about it, there was a time where Tayo went to Sabrina and was talking to her about the powers and everything, and then she was like, how did you know this, how did you? And at some point she asked, does any of your parents have sickle cell? He said yes. But after then, all of them that were trying to come together to fight the people that are trying to capture them, I believe you have to know your enemy before you can fight your enemy. So at no point did any one of them come together, or even 2 of them come together, to try to understand their similarities, what they have in common, what they can use to their advantage, and what is to their advantage. So many things, like they just keep coming together. Oh, we need to fight, they're after us, or they're after us for our power, but none of them is really trying to understand where the power is coming from, especially someone like Sabrina. But anyways, Sabrina has a sibling, and her sibling does not have the power, and she's not trying to understand what way. Like, there are just so many questions as to that. I believe for people who are really serious in overpowering or fighting people that are coming after them, you need to understand, like, at least they should try to understand what is the common denominator amongst them. But that aside, the movie on its own, there was a lot of talking about the powers. Every time, power, but we literally saw little to no power, if I'm going to be very honest. Yes, you could see Sabrina, the 5 of them that had power. This person was traveling at the speed of light, this person was invincible, but there wasn't really so much power that when you look at it, you're like, oh my god, this person is really strong. You know, movies where when you're watching it, you know that, okay, the people that are coming to capture them are very strong, but then the people with power are also very strong. You can be able to tell that, okay, this person is so strong in this aspect that I'm not sure this person will be able to over. Like, there are just so many missing parts for me, and I feel like there was a whole lot of talking than the power itself. They mostly spoke about the power instead of us actually seeing the power, if that makes any sense. And then towards the end, Tayo was like, I need to go into the future to see who killed my girlfriend, to see who ordered us to be captured, and some other things. And these are things that already happened. If it already happened, are you not going back to the past? Are you going to the future? Because if you're going to the future, these things are, his fiance is already there. So like, are you, I just don't understand. And this is my own opinion. If you have a different opinion, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. But overall, it's a good watch. And yeah, it's a good watch. Just give it a watch and let me know what you think. And if you've watched it, please let me know what you think. And if you have a better understanding on any of these parts I discussed, feel free to leave it in the comment section. The next one would be Presumed Innocence. I've been talking about this series for the last 3 weeks or 1 month, and I really need you guys to give it a watch. We finally arrived at the trial. We're beginning the trial now. And if you're new here, Presumed Innocence is a TV series that has to do with a man, I would say a district attorney, who cheated on his wife, and he told her that the affair ended a year ago. Meanwhile, as about 1 week ago, he was still having an affair with the lady. The lady is also, or the victim is also, a district attorney, and she was murdered. And the way she was murdered was very brutal and very distinctive, though it's very similar to another different person who killed someone, and that person is already in prison. So far, the only possible suspect is the man, that's the district attorney. And once the trial begins, we come to realize that his son had been to our house countless times, but he claimed that he was just passing through, and then it went on that after discovering that, because it was in evidence, his wife is not leaving him, she's staying with him, and so far so good. I think she has had an affair. I think she shared a kiss with a barman or something. But guys, it's really crazy, because the wife went out one day and was washing the son's bicycle, I think to get rid of any DNA, and suddenly the son disposed of the bicycle. And there's a little bit of tension in the house, where it's like there's a little bit of disrespect between the son and the dad, and it's really crazy, guys. I cannot get enough of it, and I cannot stop talking about it. And finally, we've reached the trial, and we know this is where it goes down. And this is one movie I really appreciate, because it has a lot of suspense. You can never predict what's to happen next. You can never really fully suspect anybody. Is it this person? Is it that person? And the name of the series is also not helping, because there are some things that happen and you're like, okay, and then when you go to the name of the series, you're like, what is going on? What is really going on? So yeah, it's definitely a great watch. You should give it a watch. You're not going to regret it. The next would be Red 2. I don't know if you guys can remember Red, which came out on Netflix, I think a year ago, or roughly a year plus ago. And for this one, it's interesting. It has action, but I will speak for myself and say it's still the same storyline of the MI6 having a problem that no one on planet Earth has ever solved or resolved, and suddenly there's this thing that will still end up solving it. They'll still end up solving it, and MI6 is this, oh no, we have this contract killer, like that same storyline. And it's just overplayed at this point, because it's still the same as the first Red, just that now it's different assignments, different cars. But yeah, for me, that story is just so played out, and I'm tired of it. But you can give it a watch if you like it, and if you watched it and like it, please leave it in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts. The next would be Beverly Hills Cop. It's also on Netflix, and this is like an action comedy. And this, again, speaking for myself, I just found it boring, to be very honest, because yes, some parts it's funny, you get the comedy, but I feel like for that particular one, the comedy and the action wasn't really blending together. And just like I say again, it's also another storyline that has been played so much, where there's a special agent that is very good in maybe killing people or just doing something extraordinary, and then they get to do it. They have a team. I'm sorry, I know that it's a remake of the Beverly Hills Cop since 1984 or so, but personally speaking, it's just that's one of those stories. It's something you've seen before, you've watched before, you heard before, just with a different cast and similar or a little difference in the storyline. So that's all I've been watching this week. And then this can also be found on Netflix and any other streaming platform. And then lastly, I've been watching Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy so much. She's someone I really love and admire. I love her YouTube videos so much, and Judge Judy is just someone that is a no-nonsense person. She's very intelligent. She knows what she knows, and she is very principled, and I just admire people like that. And she's actually very funny and has a very good sense of humor, aside she being an excellent judge. And she has been at this for a very long time, if I'm not mistaken, over 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I really love Judge Judy. I used to watch her right from years, if not over a decade ago, with my mom, and I came to like it. Until date, I still watch her every day, and they release new episodes every day on YouTube. So yeah, you should give her a watch, or you should check her out. Judge Judy is definitely someone to watch. And yeah, let's move on to what I've been listening to this week. For this week, like I said, I haven't really been listening to so much, but the first on my list would be Brother by Ashidapo featuring Ashake. And I'm just a huge fan of Ashake. I just went there for Ashake, and of course he did not disappoint. At all. It's definitely a good listen. It's a nice jam. You should give it a listen. And I will say the parts that stuck out to me. When I tell you guys that I'm not really a fan of love songs, it's not that love is not nice, but most times in life you're always looking for that, where to draw inspiration, where to draw motivation, where to draw wisdom, to gain knowledge, to learn something, and he's one of those artists that just gives me that. He's someone that when he says things, for someone who is from a similar background from him, for someone who is coming from where he came from, you get to relate so much, and you kind of understand that when someone has been through something and you've also been through that thing, and just by the person speaking, without the person even going into details or telling your story, you can kind of understand that, okay, yes, this person knows what he's saying. Yeah, so yeah, he's one artist that does that for me. And the lyrics in the song that really got to me, he said, "The pain that you feel when there's no food or when you have no food, that is what will give you the proper ginger." And then he went on to say, "Experience is the best teacher." And yeah, I just live for songs like that. I love to pick a message, a lesson from a music, what I'm watching, what I'm listening to. Let it not be just vibes. Yes, there's a time for vibes and cruise, but it shouldn't always be just vibes and cruise or just beats. We need something of substance, and he's that artist, one of those artists that really gives me that. The next person will be Burna Boy. Burna Boy is someone that I don't even need to say much about. He is him. I've been listening to all his albums this week. Actually, I've been listening to Burna Boy a lot. I've been listening to his albums. I told them Twice as Tall, African Giant, and Love Damini. I just love his songs so much. He's also someone that when you look at him, when you study him, when you see everything he does, you can't help but get inspired. And that is what I truly long for of when you watch someone like him, it forces you to go back and put in more work, work very hard, to also showcase or exhibit excellence, because you get excellence from him. When you get inspired, you just want to express excellence as well. And yeah, he's just that artist, and his songs have been keeping me going throughout this week. I would say roughly all the songs on all the albums I just mentioned. But for the most part, I would say I've been listening to Love Damini and African Giants. There are lots of songs on those albums that they're really, really they give life lessons. They give you insight, they educate you to an extent. So yeah, that's what I've been listening to. And then the last on the list would be Jenny Aiko. She as well, I've been listening to just different songs, random songs, no album in particular, just her playlist. I would say a playlist of Jenny Aiko. That is what I've been listening to. And then the songs that have been out for a while now, which is Wave by Ashake, Higher by Burna Boy. I'm just really, really enjoying the singles, enjoying the songs, and I'm really, really looking forward. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to the day these two drop their albums. I think by the time these two drop their albums, then I can close 2024. I can say, okay, 2024 music wise is done. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to their album. These two artists, really looking forward. And that's all I've been watching this week. I hope this week wasn't such a bore, and I hope to see you guys next week. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.